Three, two, one. Wellness Week Live.
And
Magnus. Yeah, I am the
Anthony.
DJ. He is the PhD in biochem. And you know what, folks? Today's a special day. Yeah, I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt. So is Magnus. Why are we wearing Hawaiian shirts simultaneously? Because it's our 100th episode. We've been doing this now. This is our 100th episode. Kabish, amazing. I mean,
It's
like that,
crazy.
like that like that. So, congratulations to you and me, Magnus. And you were one of the first people I had on the show as a guest, and now you've become basically you're my regular. You're essentially a co-host. And so, I want to thank you. This is going to be this episode really going to be just a trip down memory lane. We're going to be talking about some of our favorite episodes, where we want to go in the future with this show, and things like that. So, thank you, Magnus, for always being available to come on to Wellness Week Live. And you're a great asset. I mean, your personality, your background, and everything like that. So, hey, I gotta kiss your butt now, Magnus. But
Well,
so
thank you for having me. I mean,
yeah,
it's a team effort for sure. I mean, it's and I feel blessed that you invited me. I mean, I remember the first time when we started out, like the first interview that wasn't part of like the Wellness Week, but then when you reached out, like that was pretty just like a month or so later or so, and then it's like ask me, and I'm like 100% in. It's like
bro,
it's
yeah,
can't refuse.
thank you.
It's
And but you're
it's
gonna
an
say.
offer you can't
Yeah,
refuse.
it's enough. You can't refuse. By the way, don't forget, people, like, subscribe, tell your mom, tell your dad, tell everybody, get up on here. We're also climbing. I mean, it's almost every single day we get a new subscriber when we average it out. And yeah, dude. So, very, very exciting. And, what I was going to say is that, yeah, like I said, you've been great. And, one of the reasons why, just to go back to why I started Wellness Week was because, look, it's a lot of fun I'm a big YouTube watcher like everybody else, and it's a lot of fun to watch channels about junk food and whatever partying, and you get some of these, but a lot of this stuff is kind of negative in the sense of not a lot of junk food. Hey, watch me eat this triple decker pizza, grilled, fried, 10,000 calorie sandwich, and that's cool, that's fun, ha ha ha. But it's detrimental. And I said to myself, you know what? That's cool. People are entitled to do whatever show they want, and I'm entitled to do whatever show I want. And I go, you know
Yeah.
what? I'm going to do a show about wellness, state of mind, what we eat, mostly food is medicine type of deal. And yeah, so that's why I started the show. A little almost not even a year ago, maybe 7-8 months ago. So, but yeah, no, man, I've been grateful that you've been along for the ride, and you're someone like me that takes health and wellness seriously. Yes, we all have our junk food and stuff like that. I get it. But I said to myself, there's a million wellness channels out there, and I'm going to put 1,000,001 out there. Why not talk about our lives, our health, mentally, physically, spiritually, what we eat, what we consume, audio, visual, again, product wise and food wise and drink wise. So that's why I started this show. And it's been helpful for me, by the way. I mean,
Yeah, me too. 100%.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just, I'm somebody that's sitting here like a holier than thou. Like I mean, so many things that people look at the past shows, like I started to go to online therapy because of this show to help me with my stress and my anxiety. I got my colonoscopy, not on the show, though I'm sure people would love to see that one. But, anyways, but yeah, things like that. And I'm sure it's helped you too. And we're going to go through this now, like some of the things. So what was one of, I'm not saying your favorite, but what was one of your favorite episodes in the past 100 shows? Whether you were on it or you watched it, which one was one of yours?
So I always like when you and I have been talking, it's like the show and tell. Like when you remember when we brought in like 5 stuffs we like, or lists, like you have 5 things, I have 5 things.
Yeah.
To see how many of them that actually has been like this. We basically have the same things on the list or very similar.
Right.
And so I always think, I think lists are always, they're entertaining.
Yeah.
You get to know the person a little bit better, that you kind of like, that you might not pick up in like normal conversation.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm like, dude, Magnus eats. So if I, if and when I ever come to your house, it's gonna be like me eating at my house because you basically have the same similar lifestyle as I do. So as far as food and all that. So yeah, same here. I mean, one of the favorite episodes that I liked, which was, you and I did, was the review of online therapy. I know I can't tell you how many times I forwarded that episode of you and I talking about the review of Better Help and Talk Space to so many people to say, hey, check this out. Magnus and I talked about this. Hey, check out the. So I think that was one of my favorite in the sense of like it was all the episodes are helpful, but this one particularly because mental health is so prominent and important nowadays more than ever. So, anyways, that was one. So kind of jumping around here, and I don't want to
add something.
Yeah, go ahead.
I also one thing that I really enjoy about is that the diversity of guests and topics that you have on. Yeah, I mean, we're always hearing the same thing about like eat right, but we're also talking about the other things like the mental health and emotional health and all these things too. And I think that's where a lot of, like, if we're looking at social media and influencers and things like that, a lot of people miss out on that. It's either one extreme or the other.
Right.
Because extremes is what sells. And unfortunately, listening to someone like eating healthy and training, it becomes kind of boring. But that's why, I mean, it's still hopefully we keep it entertaining, even by the topics might be boring that you heard them before. But repetition is a good way of learning, right?
100%, and big shout out to Stephanie too, who typically does our Mommy Mondays. That's a different spin on wellness. Her and I would do Monday shows. But no, thank you, dude. So let me ask you this, so kind of getting to know you and me here. So I think I know what your favorite sport is, but I don't want to be presumptuous. So what's your favorite sport to watch or play or whatever?
It's easy. I have one top spot like that I like to watch, but it's also because I love playing it, and that's football or American football.
American football, which is interesting because you're not originally from America.
No.
Usually, right? You say football, you think American football, whatever. But by the way, is American football, is that kind of big in your country, Sweden, or no?
Not at all. So when I started, this is a long time ago when basically there were only horses and carriage outs on the streets. Well, we were the first junior team that in existence in Sweden.
Wow.
So I was the first junior team. So we were not able to play other junior teams. We had to play senior teams when we started out.
Interesting.
So yeah, but like that kind of toughens you up really quick.
Yeah.
But it's so I was kind of like, I'm not going to call myself a pioneer, but we were kind of like the first generation that started fairly young. I was fortunate though, because my next door neighbor when we started third grade, he and his family had been living in Washington, D.C. for like 2 or 3 years because his dad was a correspondent reporter. So, and they brought back, like baseball, football, stuff like that. So we started playing, like backyard football, just throwing it. And that's, so I had kind of a early exposure to it. And the same thing when I went to the States a lot with my dad, like exposure and watching it on TV and things like that. So,
okay.
So that's why it was kind of easy for me to pick up the sport.
That explains that.
Yeah. And my dad also, since my dad was traveling back and forth between Sweden and the States a lot, he was able to get me equipment, which was extremely hard to get a hold of.
Right.
Like getting shoulder pads, helmet, a football, shoes, stuff like that. It was hard to getting hold of.
Back in the day. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Now, I mean, if I had to pick a sport to watch or my favorite sport overall, I would have to concur with you. I would say American football. But I'm a big cyclist. I love tennis, but I like mixed martial arts. I've taken martial arts on and off throughout my life. But I guess if I had to pick, it'd be football. But the reason why I like football, American football, is because of the chess match. And I used to coach football too on a high school level. But I like football because of that. The chess match, the strategy, not so much the muscle and so that, but more there's so many layers, and it's really not necessarily because you have the best players per se, although that's a component, but it's about that mind of the head coach, the assistant coach, all this management of time and space. And so, that's why I like that. It's kind of a representation of life almost, or business even, it's that whole chess match that I like about it. So, okay. So
like looking at, like, originally it was a way for like military strategy too, right? And then also like since there were no like real war at the time, they wanted the youth to be able to measure their strength against other people. So that's why football came around. So
Right. Right.
and I think that's why it's also why it's popular. And I think once you like it might like when you look at it the first time, what is this like 3 seconds and then like a bunch of people lying on top of each other. I mean, I like first exposure to it, I'm like boring, I don't understand it. So once I get to understand more the depth and the layers of it, it's super interesting. And that's why I kept on coaching, and that's why I still enjoy like understanding like new technique and like I still look at new equipment. It's like, new helmet. Okay, what's cool with this? And like they put in like a new paddings that was originated from like research, space research and stuff like that. So like the geeky side of me goes and uniforms. I love like original uniforms and logos.
Then that's another reason why I think most men, not all men, but mostly men and some women, but mostly men like football because of that too, right? It's a very tactile, very equipment, very mechanical, right? A lot of stuff, a lot of gear. You can look at, and that kind of appeals to mostly men, not all the time, but most men. And I get it, like I'm a big, like I'm a typical guy in that respect. I love gear and stuff, and so yeah, okay,
statistics and data and all that stuff.
Yeah, too, for sure, right. So let's talk
about. If I like doing sports that I do like otherwise. I mean, I like with not call it a sport, hiking. I like being out in nature, doing things, and that's why I like skiing, downhill skiing, things like that.
Right.
I never got exposed to hunting, but I kind of see the charm in that too, in some way or form.
A lot of gear, a lot of strategy, right?
And also a lot of skill.
Right. It's not even so much about the animal per se, but
I mean, and that's another part. I mean, an understanding. Like I always bring this up. Like I think if you are a person that eat meat, I think one thing that you should at least like be around like once in your lifetime is actually like seeing an animal getting slaughtered, because I did like my mom used to herd sheep, so we were exposed to sheep. So I actually been around when the slaughter, and I feel like I have way more respect for animals and buying meat. It's not like just going to the store and get a package. I'm like it's there's another depth to it. And that's why I hate throwing away food also.
It almost becomes sacred, right? When the way you have a respect for that animal, that it gave its life so you can have nutrition and you can eat. And you're right. In this day and age, everything is a cheap commodity. Even human life is a cheap commodity. Unfortunately. Right. But you see that especially with animals. Hamburgers, hot dog, whatever. But there is something special about that. And when you can see, right, and kill your own or slaughter your own animal. Yeah, I think, you have a healthy respect for what's going on, and it's maybe you don't want to do it anymore either. That's respectful too. But
okay, sure.
Along those lines, so what is your favorite healthiest food that you like to eat daily or usually?
I would say berries, especially raspberries, is one of my favorite.
We might be twin brothers, you and I, because
of course. You're the one that's got lucky. You have more hair on your head. I have it on my face.
No, but bro, same thing. One of my favorite foods, I eat it every day, is berries. I eat blackberries, blueberries, strawberries every freaking day without fail. So it's one of my that is my probably healthiest thing that I eat. I mean, I have other healthy stuff, but because I do a morning smoothie with that. But okay.
And it's like weird stuff. I actually I almost eat broccoli daily too.
Yeah,
it's not maybe not the taste yet, but it's for me. It's like it fulfills so many things for nutrition, so that's why I eat it. And I like when I started out, I'm like, this is disgusting.
You know what? It depends how you cook it too. I mean, I put a little salt and pepper in there, and I bake it. It's crunchy like popcorn.
Yeah. No, but it's that's what I'm saying. It's funny because like now I actually enjoy the taste and I know how to cook it in many different forms and how to change like things. So it's just funny. It's funny how things that you kind of disliked growing up or earlier on in life that your taste changes.
100%. So let me ask you, what's one of your naughtiest foods that you like? Junk food, crap food?
Ice cream.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude, I swear to God, I think we have the same parents. So I would say same thing. You know, anything ice cream is my favorite.
yeah,
I'll eat almost any ice cream. You can give it to me, I'll eat it. I like it. But typically, you know, chocolate vanilla. I would say, which is kind of ice cream esque almost, is pudding. I love chocolate pudding.
yeah.
But anything ice cream, yeah, I'm down for. You know, and I'm a big cake fan. I love the tiramisus and the chocolate cakes, and
Hey,
you
you're
know,
Italian, eh?
yeah, sono italiano. Okay, so so now our last question here, and this might be one of our shortest shows, which is ironic. It should be one of our longest, but so in your mind, where would you like to see this channel go in the future shows coming up? Like, what do you think? Where do you think we should do or go or interview or not do, or what would you like Wellness Week to go into?
Like we've been around, like being around and doing the 100th episode. I mean, that's a very kind of cool thing by its own, and you have a lot of YouTube channels and podcasts and things like that that never get close to
Yeah,
it.
give me that stat again that you said. The
Yeah,
average YouTube
so I
channel.
think on average a podcast that like it's usually around for, I think it's like 8 episodes, and then it's gone, you know, like,
Wow, 8 episodes
that's on
average.
average.
Right,
Remember, like Joe Rogan and like they're like, what, he's the 2,000, 3,000,
right,
whatever.
right, right, right.
Yeah. And he's one of the biggest one that get,
So
and you have like the ones that are coming out like daily and things like
right,
that.
so
But
we already beat the average. The average is 8.
oh, by
We're at our
far.
100th.
Yeah. Yeah. But like I really like like it keeps some like more and more exposure.
Yeah,
And hopefully I think like people enjoy it and hear like some other voices, and not just like, you know, lift fitness and eat chicken and broccoli, or just eat a pizza in the shape of a tank, you
right.
know, like, and trying to jump in and dive into like different parts of health, nutrition,
Yeah, yeah.
fitness.
You know, to your point, I tried to get some people on here. One of the things I would love to do in the future going forward with Wellness Week is, I would love to have people on here who do eat like shit and who don't care about their nutrition or health. I would love to get them on and essentially ask them, like, you know, what's going on? Like,
Yeah,
why do you think the way you think? You know, it's hard because I think most of them know what they're doing is not good for them or their families. But I would like to have them on in a sincere way, not a way to exploit them, but to ask them, like, why are you doing what you're doing? Like,
yeah,
what's your plan or not plan, or,
yeah.
you know, but it's hard to get people on for that.
Or and like, is there a reason why you're eating this way? You know,
Right,
like,
right. I don't think they know. I think they think
yeah.
that they just,
And
but there is a reason, and it's usually to cover up hurt and pain or boredom, or, you know,
yeah,
but they don't know that. But again, it would just be interesting. I have a friend of mine who, he's a pretty good friend of mine, and he's a shit show. I mean, this guy just, you know, he's doing a slow suicide, and I'm like, come on the show, dude. You know, he's like, yeah, what? So you can make fun of me, you a-hole? I'm like, no, I'm not gonna make fun of you. I'm honestly, like, it'd be a good learning lesson for
yeah.
people. But, you know, anyways, but so that's one
But
thing I would like to.
I mean, I want to add something to that. So I was talking about that. I had a friend over from Sweden visiting me, him and his son, and so we had a little bit, like, we were busy doing other things. You know, we're out on the road, like visiting different places. We were also working, so a lot of time was, so we like less and less time was focused on actually preparing food. So we went out and ate a lot, and like, yeah, over 2 weeks, it's like just kind of like how my energy levels and things like that started to change. And it's kind of interesting to see that, like, and again, like, I didn't eat like a complete shit show, but we ate out. We didn't eat the healthiest of things all the time. I tried to at least do some kind of choices of not like drinking a bunch of sodas and alcohol. But at the end of the day, it's like I still felt like the effect of it. And that's one thing, like, it's interesting to see like how much nutrition, like how it affects our life in so many different ways.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I mean,
and like now I'm getting back on track again, and it feels better. You know, I'm waking up more energetic and feel just lighter and not, you know, like not it affects your mood too. In some ways.
100%.
So
Yeah, I would love to also in the future do some shows live, but at like supermarkets or gyms or something.
yeah,
You know what? And I do have connections to all these places, but it's just a matter of whatever. I guess the people saying yes come in, but that would be kind of cool. Which I could still have you on. I would just have whatever it would be. Yeah, but take it on the road, kind of.
yeah.
Even
And
maybe a hospital or something like live from the cardiac wing. We're doing a heart operation. But
yeah, no, for sure. But like aim for the stars, right? We might land on the moon. But like one other thing that I would really like to do in the future is actually doing a live with us in the same room and
oh,
not in like
bro,
different coasts. And
dude.
maybe do like a wellness week when we actually have a program.
Well, a lot of people
Like,
tell me, they say, "Oh yeah, they think like you and I, like they think that you and I mean, we are friends, but they think like you and I live next door to each other." And so, like, bro, I never met this guy in my life other than the video. So, but it'll
yeah,
be weird because eventually you and I will meet in person. But I'm sure it'll be like it'll be anticlimactic because I already kind of know you almost. So
exactly.
it's just
But
weird.
that's a good thing too, because then it kind of shows you that we are who we are,
Right.
and we're not playing any kind of characters when we come and do lives. And
Oh,
also
yeah.
like we want Rocky to come meet Rocco and Archie too.
Oh
so,
my Lord, Rocky, another one, right? But yeah, dude. So, and I'm
which
gonna
is our dogs for the people that don't know. If like that's
right,
our dog.
right. I have a roommate. His name's Rocky, 8-pound Shih Tzu. Yeah, no, I think that'd be kind of cool, and I'll look into that. Actually, doing live shows, like, well, we've done live shows, but I mean, like live on site, at whatever, at a park or a supermarket or a gym, and that could actually be kind of cool. So yeah, and all good things. I mean, again, I know there's a million wellness channels and health channels on YouTube, but there can never be enough because there's so much garbage. And I mean, like food garbage. Hey, you're going to eat 10 lollipops and drink 20 beers. Like, dude, that's just it's death. It's negative. It's not, but again, it's dressed up like this is a good time. And it's like, no, it's not. Having a heart attack and driving your car into a tree after a few beers is not fun. But yeah. So
well, but it's again, like, it's also depending on like the host of the show too, what kind of language we use, and like if people like our personalities and things like that. And like, even if it's the same message, it doesn't really matter. Like, as long as you find hopefully ours to enjoy our show. But it's like exposure. The more people hear and get educated about it, the better off most people are, because they start taking care of their health in many different ways and forms.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I just had a friend of mine because of the show got a colonoscopy, sooner than he wanted to, and I'm like, hey, Wellness Week help you. But you know what? I think people also see the genuineness in our show. Like, this is not a show. I mean, you are an expert. You're a PhD in biochem, and you're a nutritionist and a trainer. I am not, but I think that duality, that yin and yang, is a good mix because I'm an average Joe. I'm a DJ, for God's sakes, business owner, whatever, and you're in the biz, so it's a nice kind of again, a yin and a yang versus a lot of the wellness shows out there are just two doctors or two trainers or that's cool. That's awesome. But I think we're probably the only show that I know of on the whole YouTube universe that has a professional DJ and a professional PhD talking health and wellness. So I think it's a very, very unique, blend that we have. And a big shout out to all of our guests in the past, the dietitians and the trainers and the bodybuilders and strong men and women and all these different guests that you alluded to before. They also made the show, have value because we're getting these special guest stars every so often. And I say special guest stars because, we always look to like movie stars and athletes, and that's cool. And we should, but I also say, well, the everyday John or everyday Jane, they're also superstars, and they do great things. They, we had a guy on that lost, I think, 80 pounds naturally, no operation, no nothing, just did it, through nutrition and exercise. And that's a movie star. That's a star in my eyes because I said so, you know what I mean? So it's nice to see those people that are doing great things. And anyway, so thank you to all the guests who've been on and the future guests we're going to have on and all that jazz. So now I'm pumped up about doing some live stuff on site somewhere. So I got to really kind of look into that. Anyways, so that's that. Magnus, was there anything you wanted to add before we wrap up? Because I already lost 20 pounds in the studio with no air conditioning. But
no, I hear it's getting hot here too. So, like, again, like please share, comment, and like it. And we also want to hear like what you guys want to see from us. Like what do you guys want us to do? You know, like we're always trying to interact with our viewers and have them getting involved and be part of this show too.
Yeah,
So
big shout out.
Please comment and or reach out to us and let us know what you want us to talk about and what you want us to do. Try things out.
Yeah, big shout out to all the viewers, because without the viewers, obviously, there's really no show. We're just talking to ourselves. I can do that on FaceTime. I don't need to have a show. So, yeah, big shout out for all the support and all the viewers out there that check in and watch and share videos. And, thank you so much for being part of this program. And it means a lot. I really appreciate that. Thank you. So, all right, folks. Well, as we that's it. So now we're going to go shoot for 200. So here we go. But awesome, Magnus. Thank you as always, my man. Stay cool in Cali. It's blazing hot here in Jersey. And all right, guys, 5-4.